If you are an entrepreneur, you probably have a consumer mindset. Yes, you are producing something. That's why you're called an entrepreneur. But deep down, you know that the reason that you are producing, the reason that you are an entrepreneur is to be able to consume later on. You've been fed this lie that you want the Rolex, you want a fancy car, you want to fly private, and the more money I earn, the more I feel this urge myself. I couldn't give two shits about watches or flying private or having a super fancy car before I began watching entrepreneur content on YouTube. And now it feels weird if someone I know is worth a couple $1,000,000 doesn't wear a watch worth at least $10,000. So how has consumerism become such a big part of being an entrepreneur? Why do I think that it is important at all? And what can you do about it? Let's jump into it. I've got some notes here because this is a pretty broad topic. So first of all, let's figure out why consumerism has become such a big part of being an entrepreneur. In my opinion, it is because it is super easy to sell you something by flashing a fancy lifestyle. You don't have to dive into your business. You don't have to explain your margins. You don't have to explain what type of clients you serve. All you have to do is show a Lambo and people will know that you probably have some money to your name and that you're not some random guy off the street. And you may say, but Alex, not every person showing a flashy lifestyle is trying to sell me something. Yes, they are. Maybe they don't want your money. Maybe they want your attention. Maybe they want your like. Maybe they want your approval. There is always some type of transaction involved when you are showing a flashy lifestyle online on social media, because if the person truly didn't give a shit about your opinion, they didn't give a shit about your like, they didn't give a shit about your money, they would not be on social media. So going back and summarizing this really quickly, my opinion is that you are being fed this consumerism lie because it is the most effective way to change your behavior. Next, why do I think that this topic is important at all? Like, why do I care enough to sit here and talk to you? Well, my belief is that to succeed in life, you have to be rooted in truth. You have to understand fundamental truths about the world, because if you don't, if you build your life on lies, it will at some point come crumbling down. So let's do a quick thought experiment. So let's say you are working towards buying a watch. You tell yourself that once you hit 20K a month, you will go out and buy a Rolex for, let's say, 12K. You work hard, you go out, you buy the watch, and then you realize that you don't actually care because it is just that it is a watch on your wrist. It doesn't actually give you any fulfillment in life. And then you look back at all the sweat, tears, all the early mornings, all the late evenings that you put in to be able to buy this watch. And then you think to yourself, was it all worth it? And you, of course, begin rationalizing to yourself, yes, it was worth it. I enjoy wearing it. But deep down, deep inside, you know that the answer is no, and that all of the effort you put in towards buying this watch was not actually worth the reward. And that is the reason why I believe that this topic is so important to understand early on, because if you don't, and as I said, if you build your life on lies, you will at some point come crashing down and you will face a lot more failure and setbacks in your life. And the third part to this equation is, what should you actually do about it? At this point, you may expect me to say, sell everything you own, become a monk, move to Southeast Asia and just live in a temple for the rest of your life. No, that is absolutely not what I am saying. I myself am working towards buying a nice Rolex. I myself will fly private in the future. I will own a fancy car. But the difference is that I now understand my why behind these actions. I understand that I am buying a Rolex for social status. I'm not buying it because I enjoy having a Rolex on my wrist. I understand that maybe in some cases I will choose to fly private over flying first class, because it makes for an amazing picture on Instagram. And that is the whole point of this video. You are, of course, able to do these things. I am just encouraging you to understand your inner why before you actually pull the trigger. So, as Luke Belvoir says, walk with truth, walk with power, and I'll see you at the top.